So let's get something out the way. All men do not cheat. All right. I repeat one more time. I'm laughing, but I'm serious. All men do not cheat. Okay. I was literally just having a discussion before we started recording this video about how I feel like there are two types of men. There are the men who have this desire of women at a greater level to where they will try to go make some things happen. All right. Which, yes, can lead to them engaging in infidelity or cheating in a relationship, where there's other men, I argue the majority of men, who if they're getting certain things, they're fine. But we'll dive a little bit more into that specific part at the end of this. So please make sure you watch this whole video, because I don't need y'all being triggered by certain points and then tuning off and not hearing the full message, okay? But at the end of the day, because I know, or I feel with confidence that all men do not cheat, there are some signs that help you see that this is the kind of guy who is not likely to cheat, all right? And I use the word not likely for a very specific reason, and I'll explain that as well at the end. But let's get to some of these signs of how you can know he won't cheat on you. And sign number one is he is willing to let go of women from his past. So here's the thing. There's a lot of, and let me also say this. Don't automatically assume that someone who doesn't do every last one of these things is a cheater, all right? But let me continue. So he's willing to let go of women from his past. There's been tons of relationships that I have seen where people struggle to let go of their exes. Forget struggle. They just flat out don't want to, all right? And some people, it's not even just exes. It's just people they used to have fun with, whatever the case may be. And again, I'm not going to jump to automatically just because people don't let go of these individuals, that's an automatic sign of cheating. However, when we keep people around that we've had relations with, we're playing a very dangerous game. All right. When you're in a new relationship, if that man is unwilling, so it's one thing if when you met him, he had these friendships or whatever you want to call it to women he used to deal with. And then you addressed it and he's willing to release it. This shows you, one, he's very serious. This shows you that he's willing to set those boundaries that you would like him to set, that he deems reasonable. All right. Or, you know, he can agree could be a problem. And so there's no reason to now think this is the type of guy that's going to go out and do something. But when he shows resistance to that and trying to find all these kinds of excuses, again, I'm not saying he's automatically a cheater, but I'm just saying this is a problem. Now, I do think the argument can be made that if you met him while he was holding on to these women, even though he goes on to letting them go, you want to have you should gain an understanding of why. Like, what is his deal? Because there are some people who just see it as, listen, nothing wrong with being friends. You know, just because I used to deal with these people, like every relationship didn't end on a bad note. Every situation didn't go left. So some people used to kick it with each other, be in relationships with each other, and can still be cool with each other. All right. And I think that's healthy. I think that's two mature adults. There's nothing wrong with that. However, again, I think the unwillingness to now separate from those individuals, or at the very least create boundaries, either speaks to a deeper issue within that man or someone who's trying to leave doors open to walk through. Just keeping it real. Now, I'm a firm believer that, listen, even with platonic female friends, there's supposed to be boundaries, all right? I used to say to some of my female friends, I'm like, listen, let's say like a female friend or a friend who's a woman. I know some people don't like the word female. A friend who's a woman might call me at 2 o'clock when I'm single, all right? They call me at 2 a.m. And I might say to them, listen, just know you ain't going to have this privilege when I'm in a relationship. You can't just be calling me at 2 a.m. because now there's a level of respect that has to be shown. There's a level of boundaries. Now, in fairness, what that level is dependent on you and that individual. Because, hey, there might be some people that say, well, I don't care if your friend calls you at 2, 3 in the morning. I haven't met that person, but some of y'all, that might exist out there. And if you're cool with that, then you're cool with that. But to get back to the point, when you're not cool with something and he's unwilling to let go, problem. But when he is willing to let go, that's definitely a good sign of someone who's not going to cheat on you. Now, the second sign of a man who will not cheat on you is someone who exhibits loyalty and honesty in all that they do. So one of the things that I think people make a mistake with is only evaluating how someone is with them and not looking at the bigger picture of who this person is and how they interact with others. You've got to understand that someone who is truly honest and loyal at their core shows it in their other aspects of their life. If this person is a liar to everyone else, but let's just say with you have not found a lie, he seems to be honest with you. But do you really think he can keep his lying ways only to the outside world outside of you? I'm not saying there are never exceptions to the rule, but I'm saying it's very unlikely because they built the character is kind of habitual. Like, there's certain things that when you're accustomed to doing it, you're gonna do it even with those that you might even genuinely care for and love. All right? Because you have not gotten past whatever the issue is that causes you to behave this way. So this man is consistently a liar, consistently disloyal to other individuals. Again, that speaks to an issue within him, but there's no reason for me to believe that he will be able to manage and maintain over the long haul. He may be for a limited amount of time be able to be on his best behavior with you. All right. I think that can be very common, but to be able to keep that going is unlikely. So when the man exhibits it, you want to pay attention to how he is with other individuals. You want to, when you guys are discussing situations and sometimes maybe even not create scenarios. Like when you're having discussions, come up with a scenario and ask him, how would you handle something like that? What would you do here? And see what his character shows you. Because again, loyalty speaks to his character. Honesty speaks to his character. Also, his willingness to embrace, I have to put it like this, embrace even the potential consequences of it. What I mean by that is this. A lot of people struggle with being honest because they don't want the consequences of their honesty. They don't want the backlash that may happen when they say, a certain thing and they're forthcoming about how they feel. When someone is willing to always be honest, it shows you a level of maturity that says, you know what, even though this may work against me, I'm still willing to face that. And now, listen, no one's perfect. So I don't want you to think that even some of the most honest people may have a moment or a situation that they've told a lie. All right? I don't think because he tells one lie here that automatically means, oh, there he goes, he's a cheater. Like, no. It's about what is he doing consistently? What is his reoccurring theme? Is it lying or is it honesty? Is it loyalty or is it making everything about himself? Which now that hit my spirit, so I got to speak a little bit more to it. I'm adding that as like sign 2B. Is he very about himself? All right. Someone who is very self-centered. We can use the word narcissistic, but I'm going to leave narcissistic out because maybe right now you don't really see the full nature of his narcissism, but you start to see how he's it's about me. Forget how this person feels. Forget how this person feels. That is a bad sign because again, one of the core principles or one of the core things that contributes to a person's willingness to cheat is a desire to fulfill or I'm saying the words wrong. Them being more focused about their feelings, their need, their desires in that moment. It's about me at that moment. A lot of people, they look at cheating as like, well, how could you do this to me? But in that person's mind, it wasn't about you. It was about how they felt in that moment. It's about what they wanted in that moment. Their hope was that you would never find out. All right. And this is not to make cheating okay or valid. I'm explaining to you that in their thinking, It was about them. And so when someone is very self-centered, they're more likely to end up doing things that dismiss how you would feel and disregard you. So you want to be mindful of that. But when he does so, an ability to show concern for how others feel, to be considerate, all of these things, this shows you a good sign of someone, a man, who is not likely to cheat on you. All right, so now let's keep this going. And the next sign number 3, he will not cheat on you, is that he's not a risk taker. So what do I mean? What I mean by that is, what I have observed is there are a lot of men out there who, as long as their needs are being met, as long as they're happy and good, they don't have, no, I gotta start again. That's not the right way. One more time. All right, so let's keep this going. And the third sign that on how to know he won't cheat on you is that he's not a risk taker. All right. So what I mean by that is this. Here's the reality. Cheating is a risky game. Cheating, it can be very nerve-wracking, very, it can be tough to deal with in the sense that you have to be mindful of the lies you're telling, hiding things. There's a lot that goes into it, as well as you potentially losing your relationship. A guy who is not a risk taker, a guy who tends to live on a more cautious, conservative path, is less likely to want to take the chance of, again, messing things up in his relationship and it falling apart. All right. And there are, of course, exceptions to this, and I'll clarify later in the video. But he doesn't want that smoke, as they say. All right. He don't want no problems. And he just feels like, let me just be home, do what I need to do. That's it. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't need that kind of lifestyle and having to concern myself with that. And I think that when you start to notice, again, I'll say this, at the very least, he's very less likely to try to go make something happen. It's one thing for situations to fall in people's laps, all right, that they may mishandle. But cheating or to actively go cheat, that requires a certain mindset. That requires a willingness to, again, take a risk that can lead to a lot of drama, lead to pain, lead to disappointment, depending on how he feels about his relationship. All right. And the non-risk taker is just a lot less likely to want to do that. So I do think that plays into it. I also have to say that I was going to skip this, but I have to say it. The other thing that I've noticed that kind of connects with this whole not a risk taker thing is that I feel like there's a lot of men, I would argue the majority of men, who it's very easy for them to be complacent. It's very easy for them to be content as long as they're getting enough of what they're looking for, or they're getting what they're looking for. And they're not trying to go beyond that. And I'll use career as an example. There's a lot of men out there that if they're making, let's say they're making 70 grand, and I'm not saying 70 grand is good, bad, whatever. I'm just explaining to you. And that 70 grand covers his needs and puts a roof over his head, and he's good. He does not have a desire to seek more. He does not have a desire to push past that. He's good. He's genuinely good. And to me, what I have seen in a lot of men is this translates into how they are with relationships. If they're getting what they need to get, they're good. They don't have this, I need more. Because a lot of times the perception of men who cheat, the perception at least from a lot of women, is they're just greedy. They just want more. They're never satisfied. You can give them what they want and they still go look for something else. And I would argue that's not how the majority of men are. They are, just give me what I need and I'm fine, all right? Now, I know some of you will fight that because you feel like you've been in these situations where that was not the case. And I hate to keep doing this to you, but I will explain more of that at the end of this video because I want to keep this in my proper structure. So hold on tight. Trust me, I will make this very clear. But to wrap up this specific point, those type of guys are just less likely to try to go after it and make cheating happen. All right, so now we're at number 4. And I think number 4 is something that a lot of people don't think about, but let me put it out there for you. The 4th sign on how to know he won't cheat on you is that he thinks ahead and he's very aware. So here's what I mean by this. What I have seen in all my years of doing coaching and just knowing people, friends, associates, whatever, is that a lot of scenarios of cheating happen because men do not think ahead. And they're not aware. And what I mean by that is this. A man could be dealing with, let's say, a woman who's a friend, and to him, he is genuinely oblivious to the fact that she is attracted to him or wants him. All right? Now, his woman can see it, which is why she don't like that chick. All right? She can sense something's there. And to that woman, you may feel like your man's playing stupid or he's just trying to make it easier for him to do something. What it actually is, he is not aware. He doesn't get it. He actually does not think there's anything between him and this woman. This woman doesn't look at him this way, whatever the case may be. So there's the awareness part, all right? That's one layer of it. But let's think about the think ahead. So now in that same scenario, that woman is home alone, it's late at night, and she calls this man who's in a relationship and says, my computer is broken. I know you're good with computers. Can you come here and fix it? Okay? Now to the man who, again, not aware, not thinking ahead. And when I say think ahead in the sense that you're going to a woman's house. It's at night. She's single. One, is this really good for the optics of what this could look like? Even if it's innocent, you might want to make sure you go in early in the day or go with a friend. That would be the right way to safely navigate this, okay? But again, he's not aware, he's not thinking ahead. And if he does have any attraction to this woman, but he's convinced himself, yeah, I think she looks good, but I would never do nothing. He's not considering the situation he's putting himself in that can lead to something happening. So he goes to this woman's house late at night, because again, he thinks it's no big deal. He goes, and when he walks in the door, here she is with some booty shorts and a real short shirt. Now, listen, y'all may say this is crazy. Stuff like this happens, okay? But again, the man lacking aware, because you might say there's no way at this point he doesn't get that maybe she's trying to make something happen. I'm telling you, some men really just thinking, no, it's not like that. And he's being honest. But anyways, and yes, there might be something in the back of his head that's like, dang, okay, she's looking good. I wouldn't mind something happening, but at the same time, nah, it ain't like that. Whatever the case may be. That's some men. Anyways, he goes, he fixes the computer, he ends up fixing something else. All right. and this is one of those scenarios, and I hate to laugh, so forgive me for laughing because cheating is not a funny matter. However, this is one of those situations where you ever heard a man say, it just happened? I don't know how it happened. And to you, it's like, how the hell could you not know? How could it not? You made a decision. You didn't just trip and your penis fell in her stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it happens. But it's really a situation of people getting caught up in the moment because they're not thinking ahead and they're not aware. So to get to the point, when a man shows an ability to think ahead and be aware to where he can pick up on, he knows it, like he sees the things that you see. And that's tough. So I don't want you to put that expectation on men. I will say men need to do better as far as thinking ahead. I do think that men need to process things properly rather than just kind of moving in the moment, because that's how you get in trouble, not just when it comes to cheating, but a lot of different things that can go wrong because you're not thinking ahead. And yes, of course, being aware would be good, but I do think that women, due to being more intuitive, due to being typically better with the details, can sometimes see things that the man does not see. But So it's not to say that when he struggles in these areas, he's a cheater. It's just that when he is good in those areas, he is less likely to get himself into trouble because he will see things in advance. He will understand, okay, you know what? This wouldn't look good. This would not be best. This could lead to a problem, or this woman might have something up her sleeve. Let me not go that route. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this would be a very good sign he's not likely to cheat on you. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Some men will play games. You're probably thinking they all play games, but no, some men. But in this context, it's not playing games to manipulate you, hurt you.